Howdy, folks. You're listening to Mornings with Rooster. I am your host, James Gribben. I'm excited for the weekend, and I hope you guys are too. I'm really excited now. So if you guys are a business and you're looking for sponsors, feel free to slide into my crusty, tasty little DMs. Let's talk business. Other than that, I want to get straight into this episode's guest, the hilarious, the fantastic Matt Myers, who performs at I.O., and he's got just about the best taste in music one can have when playing for people at a bar. So I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. We talked a little bit about Arizona and reality TV, which I need to learn more about. And it was a real fun conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Myers.
Okay.
There we go.
Whoop, got it.
Yeah, it's like morning radio.
Hot.
And this is in Phoenix. You guys would play.
Outside of Phoenix, northern Arizona. I grew up in Phoenix, but we would camp in northern Arizona along the Mogollon Rim.
Nice.
For all you Arizona heads.
I think you might be the first Arizonan
Really?
on the podcast. Yeah.
Wow. I used to live in this neighborhood in Chicago, Illinois, the same neighborhood you're in currently. And I found a Centennial Arizona cookbook in the alley, and I took it home, and it had like 100 recipes for 100 years.
Cool.
And it had the Arizona flag on it.
That's really, really cool.
I displayed it and never made one of them.
Well, do you remember like some of the recipes?
No, they all looked really good, but it was just like a lot of corn and yeah.
Pretty much like Mexican food.
Yeah.
Chimichangas from Arizona. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
That is the least surprising thing that I've learned today. It's like, a burrito that is fried?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good, but you know what?
Let's make this a little more American.
Yeah.
I'm a little uncomfortable with how ethnic this is.
Yeah. Do you miss it?
Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
There are people there that I miss, and when I am there, well, I'll say I'm most homesick when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I really like being there. Don't plan to live there again. I love it, but I can't say that like I miss it.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I do. When I get back there, I remind myself that I don't want to live there at the moment, but I could see myself retiring there. Maybe not in a city, but just kind of, I don't know.
Cottonwood?
Yeah. Smaller town, maybe like, even like near like Sierra Vista. I really like it down there.
Yeah, because you're from Tucson, right?
Yeah. So we would drive down to like Bisbee, Tombstone a lot, Wilcox, and it's just like super peaceful down there, and like no one really drives around. It's kind of like a dead area. It's like south of I-10, so there's really like nothing to do except like there's a couple like wineries and
for sure.
Yeah, just hang out.
There's maybe it was a couple years ago. I went home and I got a bunch of mead samples. This restaurant that my brother worked at. I guess mead is picking up there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mead is picking up in there. Wow.
Yeah.
Arizona's like hip now.
Oh, yeah. Young people are moving there.
Yeah, people like it.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend Justin, and he was saying how much shit he got when he first moved to California like 10 years ago for being from Arizona. And
oh, really?
Specifically Tucson. And now it's like, oh, I love Tucson.
Man, so many of my like college friends and my comedy friends from Arizona moved to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I so nearly did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just makes sense. It's right there.
Yeah. Why'd you pick Chicago?
I don't know. I do know. I wanted to do comedy, and I knew LA would always be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to live in Chicago. I knew that if I went to Chicago, I could always go to LA,
Right.
but it was less likely that I would go from LA to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like 6 months into, I've been in Chicago for like over 5 years, but like 6 months in, I was like, man, this is where it's at for me.
Nice. Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, I can always move to LA, but I want to like cut my teeth in Chicago, which has like been the dream for so long of like, oh, Second City and IO.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get the reality check, like, oh yeah, Second City's really tough. And also like, I don't know if I was thinking about this today. If I make the excuse of like, well, it's not my style of comedy, and I don't know if I want to, take on their style. If that's just like a cop out to like not getting to where I wanted, you know?
Oh
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
it's absolutely so easy to justify. Like, and I mean, I did nothing today. I
Yeah.
did nothing all day. But I'm like, you know what? I work at night. I'm super busy, like 3 nights out of the week. So I need some me time.
yeah.
And I went to a cafe, bought coffee beans, and that was my productive thing today.
You need that though.
Yeah, but like I also did nothing yesterday.
Okay, that's now we got a no. Do you write a lot?
Yeah,
Okay.
but like, what's a lot?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I write every day,
That's good. That's a lot.
but it's journaling.
Okay.
So it's like good for my emotional and spiritual well-being, but yeah, it's not going to make me any money. Which is why you want a healthy spirit.
Yeah.
It's to monetize it.
Sure. I found that a lot of people that hustle and like constantly writing, like it gets in places, but also like I'll talk to them. I'm like, you really don't have anything to talk about aside from like what's going on, like your projects, but maybe
Oh.
we're just not diving into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to bore you with any projects.
No,
I
no.
don't have any. I bought coffee beans today.
I like that. I like, little adventures. No, I just mean like in passing, like seeing them at a theater.
For sure.
It's always just like, well, what show did you come out of? What show are you doing next week? Like, I don't know. I really want to. This is like talking about work outside of work. I'm like, dude, whatever.
Well, yeah, I bartend at one of the big theaters in Chicago, and a lot of my bartender small talk is, "What you up to tonight? Doing a show? Oh, cool! I love shows.
Cool.
But genuinely, I love shows, so I am interested.
Fair. I will say that you have the best taste in music at I.O.
Thank you.
Every time I hear a song, I'm like, is this Matt Myers?
You're
Because
ju-
I love like, well, shit, you're not from Tucson, but like 94.9 was like slow rock or soft rock and like easy listening.
Uh-huh.
And like my mom would play it on the way to school. Everybody was like, come on, can we change it to something else? But secretly, I was like, fuck, yes.
Yeah. I play a lot of 90s
Yeah.
female rockers.
Mm-hmm.
I know you love the Dixie Chicks.
I actually, is this a bit?
Do you hate the Dixie Chicks?
I don't like them.
Is this because of their... Well, we won't talk politics.
We can. I never hold a grudge.
I
But
could have
it's-
swore you were jamming to Wide Open Spaces.
It was not me.
Well, it must have been every fucking person else because that song is so good.
Dude, improvisers love the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
No, I usually get down with, you were playing Mariah Carey the other night, and then who's the one that sings? I don't think you played it, but it's like, oh my God, do I pray? Who is it? Four?
The Four Non Blondes.
Four Non
And
Blondes.
Yes,
like
I
that
was
kind of
playing
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that song is so damn good. Mm-hmm. Almost as good as Wide Open Spaces.
I love country music, and I just never could get down with the Dixie Chicks.
Well, yeah, I just think you can't really think of them as country music. If that's the lens you're looking at them through. But also, what the fuck do I know?
But they're not folk either, are they?
No, I would put them as like pop rock.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't catchy for me.
That's all right.
But I love everything else you play.
Thank you. I just want to, I don't know, put on the record on this podcast that they were robbed out of a very long, fruitful career.
What happened?
Well, they had
Is
that like anti-Bush thing,
Yeah.
and then they're completely like blacklisted, or maybe not blacklisted, but boycott to hell.
Damn. I mean, then it's time for like a music change, right?
In what way?
If they're predominantly like Republican fans aren't listening, then they got to go more folksy or I don't
Just
know,
lean
different
into
demographic.
that like Indigo Girl vibe.
I guess. Because I mean, yeah, they were like on, was it CMT, like the award show or something? I'm trying to remember what they said about Bush and where, but
I like that song, but I don't know their full history.
fair. I struggled with listening to Toby Keith after he played at Trump's inauguration for like a year. I was like, man, it's one thing if you vote for him, like that's hard to get over, but like playing, like volunteering, like, oh yeah, I'll play at your inauguration. I was like, I'm not going to listen to Toby Keith. But then at the end of the day, I was like, dude, I fucking love some of his songs. And like, I live in the country that the guy's president. Like, I'm not doing enough either, clearly. So, I don't know. It just comes down to separating the artist from the art. And if you can do it.
That's very hard to do, and sometimes I wonder if it's worth doing.
Yeah, because then you're like, oh, well, Netflix still has House of Cards on. They're making money off Kevin Spacey. And then do I just not support Netflix, you know?
Well, it's like, how many artists are we not like giving our time and attention to who haven't like
Fair.
raped anyone? Or
Very true.
it's like, man, I loved Milk when that came out. The a biopic about Harvey Milk. Like that came out, I think, when I was in high school, and it's like cool to see like queer representation, even though a straight man was playing Harvey Milk. But then like a couple years after that, I learned that Sean Penn like tied Madonna to a chair and beat her up.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like
yeah.
widely known, but people are just like, yeah, but he was. I don't know. It was a different time,
Right.
and I don't know. Have I watched that movie since? No. Did it have an impact on me to like, I don't know, see a queer icon celebrated? Yeah,
Sure.
that was cool. I also could have had a queer actor play him.
For sure. I didn't know he did that, though.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's so hard. I actually made a rule for myself like 2 years ago. Like, do not have heroes unless there's someone that was a friend first. And that's been kind of hard to maintain, because there will be like people that I idolize and like really want to like put all my chips in and be fully inspired by. And I've broken that rule twice. It's for Cameron Esposito, because her podcast Query is incredible. She interviews a different queer person every week and like covers a wide range. She's a great interviewer.
Yeah.
And, like, I cry every episode. The other is Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye. And, man, that person just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, he makes me so happy.
Does he have a podcast?
He does. He has a podcast called Getting Curious, and he interviews an expert in just anything.
Cool.
Every week. And he's so genuinely curious about things. And his excitement is contagious. It makes me excited to learn. My favorite episode is about honeybees.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
would
just
listen to
so authentically himself. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, both of those people, Cameron Esposito and Jonathan Van Ness, I feel like through their platforms give me wider permission to like be my more authentic self, which is just always kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough with social media. Now everyone's like under the microscope, and I don't know if down the road we're going to evolve as a society where like someone will make a mistake and say something, not like like a Roseanne kind of a level thing, but just like, yeah, I said this and like I screwed up, and will it like be watered down in 5-10 years, you know, where it's not going to be that big of a deal because everyone's going to be looking at everyone and everyone's going to have a history, you know? Or is it just going to keep getting worse and people are just going to be like, I have to train myself to not be myself on social media because it's You become who you're pretending to be, kind of a thing, or
Man, yeah, building that brand and then
Yeah.
like being the person behind it. Yeah, man, something that I've been off Facebook for like 6 or 7 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels fantastic.
yeah,
But something that I hear talked about a lot lately, and I hope is becoming a more common practice, it's like rather than call out culture, call in culture. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
So it's like the idea of, but call out culture, like this person said this fucked up thing.
Yeah.
Let's drag him through the mud.
yeah. You're fucking done forever.
Yeah. I think there are some cases where that is like chill to do.
Mhm.
Like if someone's been like a predator
Yeah.
and has abused their power and is like a genuinely awful person.
Right.
Cool. We shouldn't, watch House of Cards. But I think there are some instances where something is said and like the intention of respect is there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe someone just doesn't have the vocabulary, or someone is trying and failing. Instead of calling out and dragging them through the mud, it's like calling them into the room, saying, hey, this is like a better way to be an ally, or like this was kind of shitty
Mhm.
or made people feel shitty.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it? I think historically why that's been hard to do and maintain is because like marginalized people and groups, like it's exhausting to be marginalized and to constantly be calling people in and saying like, here's the thing.
Sure.
Don't do that.
Mhm.
Do this instead, please. Yeah. So I don't know, I think things that we can do is like educate ourselves and be the person to call people in for other marginalized groups.
But how do you do that? You know what I mean? Like, how do you execute that?
I mean, I wouldn't do it in like a comment on a status.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like send them a message or
Oh, like someone you might know, you mean? Or
yeah.
okay.
It's like yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, like, I'm saying, like, once someone is popular or like a celebrity, that kind of thing, like, what do you do with that? And they tweet something, and you're just like, oh. It's
Well-
not like your career's over, but it's also like, all right, you need. I guess is that just like a PR move? Like your manager hires a third party? I don't know.
yeah, I mean, that's like above my pay grade.
Yeah, right. Matt, what do we do here?
Well, who are you working for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of something that I have to self-police too. It's like, that's not something I can change. But, like, I can talk to people in my own community about, like, something shitty that happens on Twitter. It's like, if there's contention, we can talk about it. Or if we have different views, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And just, like, keep it cute.
Yeah. I used to, like, back when I was in Arizona, like, first starting to do improv and stuff, I would, like, tweet or Facebook post or post things on Facebook, whether it was, like, political or not, but, like, stuff that I thought was funny and, like, oh, people can get behind. But, like,
Sure.
I was like, I don't need, like, whether or not it's landing, like, I just would rather not even get into it. So now all I post is, like, dumb stuff that I know no one's going to, like, there's no, like, way of making it negative for anyone or just, like, something about public lands and, like, hey, we should all fight for our public lands because they're important. Like,
Hey.
something that no one I know is going to get pissed about.
Honestly, I hate national parks, though. And
What?
I wish you hadn't brought it up.
What do you mean?
It's a bit.
Oh,
Sorry, man. I love the
You're
Mogollon
good.
Rim.
you're good.
You know I love the
I was like,
Mogollon
this is
Rim.
the first person ever who doesn't like the national parks.
I love national parks.
Okay.
Man, I can't wait for it to cool down because I have a sweater with Smokey the Bear on it, and I can't wait to wear it.
That was so good. I was like, I don't even know what to say to this. I was like, he's got to have some like angle that I don't know
No,
about how they're costing us money. Or
no, my sweater is very cute.
Hell yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. That's going to be my new bit. I hate the national park service. What are we doing with all this land? Have you been to a few of them?
Yeah, I couldn't rattle off a ton, but I know I have been to several. I spent a lot of time growing up in Colorado. So that's where my family comes from. I was born just outside of Denver. So I love Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah.
I love the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
What is that?
Oh, you have to know what the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory is.
No. It
It's-
sounds like a train ride.
No.
Damn.
It is just like a chain of chocolate stores, like sweet treats, delicacies.
Huh.
There's like one in every mall.
I was just in Denver in February. I didn't catch my eye.
Yeah, there's a bunch in Phoenix.
What?
Oh yeah, they have this like giant, or at least the one that I grew up near. They had this giant stuffed teddy bear sitting on a bench in the front, and he just looked like the saddest, fattest, oldest man. I think he was like chained to the bench so no one would take him. He's just sitting there at the mall, the outdoor mall.
Jesus.
Smelled super good in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm writing it down.
Oh yeah.
I'll tag them.
Oh yeah. Please. Also, please tag Amy's Baking Company. I grew up so close to them.
Good stuff.
The best episode of Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay.
What? Gordon Ramsay, he's the British guy, and he's done a few
Oh, he's got a lot of
cooking
shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is that the one I'm thinking of? Kitchen or Rescue? Restaurant Rescue or
Yeah, it's like Bar Rescue,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's for restaurants.
Oh, okay. Got it. That's the show I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Got it.
He just like comes in with the best intentions and yells at people, which is not always the best way to do things. In fact, I think rarely it is the best way to do things. But he always
Gets the job done.
yeah, or
Yeah,
at
right.
least it's edited in a way to make it appear so. That's Hollywood.
I have found that those are usually in like Bravo. Yes.
Hulu for sure.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you beyond that.
Okay. I feel like I am so behind when people list off these cooking shows or like fashion shows. Like
Well, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Let's dive into it because in the improv community, a lot of people like talking about this, and I don't know, and I just sit there. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, taking it back to Jonathan Van Ness. Have you watched Queer Eye?
No.
All right. I'm sure you're tired of people telling you to do it. I would encourage you to do so.
Okay.
But I will not police you beyond that.
Please
It's so good.
stay on me. Make sure. Because they used to have Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, right? Is
Yes.
that the same thing?
Yes. So Queer Eye is like the revamped version. And
Okay.
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was, I think, added to Netflix my maybe sophomore year of college. And I like blew through all of it.
Yeah.
It's what I call like my second puberty.
Okay.
It's like I had like Sean Penn playing Harvey Milk, and before that, I
Yeah.
hadn't seen a lot of like queerness in media. And these five, I mean, it's hard to say because I haven't seen it since that
Sure.
time how well it's aged or not. But like Carson Kressley, who has gone on to have a great career after Queer Eye, he's like the fashion guy.
Is he
super
the blonde?
flamboyant. Yeah.
Okay.
You might know him as a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race now,
I
which
don't.
I'll assume you do.
I'm in.
But I mean, he was just so authentically himself as well,
Yeah.
and gave me just a little more permission and courage to do so in Phoenix, Arizona.
Sure.
It's a hard thing to do, and that representation helps.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
were we talking about? Oh, you got to watch Queer Eye.
I gotta watch Queer Eye. I gotta watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
It's great. Start
Okay.
with season 4.
I remember like that one. I'm not like I don't follow this up, but like that's all I heard about for like weeks or months was that RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm like, it's got to be good
Yeah.
because everyone's talking about it.
And the first time I ever saw it was they were on season 3, which I think was 2012, if my math is right.
Mm-hmm.
And like I went over to my very first boyfriend's house, and some of his friends were there, and they were watching it. And I was like, "What is up with all these dudes in dresses? I'm not that kind of gay, oh right." And I was like immediately like put off, and now like. Well, you know me. I do drag. I am a huge advocate for like queer spaces and queer performers
Yeah.
in like the Chicago comedy scene.
Sure.
I I mean, it's been a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I remember your outfit for, was it the last thing at I.O.?
The Dell Awards.
Was it the Dell Awards? I think so, yeah.
Was I wearing a cape?
No.
Oh.
What was the other one you did?
Um,
There was one outfit that I was like, damn.
I've
that's good.
done
Maybe it was the cape.
done drag the last 2 Dell Award shows, and also once for Halloween, but that was a few years ago.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the theme of the last one.
I don't remember the theme. I just showed up in drag because I had already decided what I was going to wear.
Hell yeah. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that they were doing the ring light over by Dell Close, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was wearing a cape that I made myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like sew it and everything, or?
That was essentially a glorified pillowcase.
Okay.
The size of my body. I took like a costuming class in college, and
Gotcha.
I remembered a little bit of sewing stuff.
Nice.
Enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't look too close.
My grandma always tried to teach me, like, I know basic sewing techniques, like
Yeah.
a little bit just for like getting by.
Putting on a button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like with the little like knot you got to make so you can like start it.
Yep.
Yeah, easy stuff. But she always tried to get me on the machine. I'm like, this is too much. I can't.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy as far as like my knowledge goes.
Sure.
Like, I can't do anything fancy, but it's just like take it slow and steady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to like, man, going back to like Permission to Be Yourself. I always wanted to take costuming classes. I secretly wanted to do like dance classes.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom even asked me once, like most supportive woman in the world. It's like, I think she had an inkling. She's like, "Do you want to take dance classes? Because I feel like you'd be really, like, well, I don't think she said I'd be really good in them, but she was like, I think you'll have a lot of fun, which is even better. And I was afraid to say yes, so I said no.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Is that something you look back at? You're like, has that stuck with you?
Oh,
as far as,
for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man. I was like, I mean, yeah, you never know
Yeah.
how your life would be different.
Right.
I'm very, very happy with the life I have now.
Yeah.
But boy, would I love to be able to dance a little better.
Right.
Have a little rhythm.
Yeah. I always think about going into college. I was undeclared major, and I was like, I think I'm gonna, because I never really did theater drama in high school, but I was like, I really want to major in theater.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
And that was like, that's one of the big ones that I regret. And I was just like, oh, I have to dedicate all these like Fridays and Saturdays. I was just like, I'm still friends with like 1 or 2 of my high school, college friends, but like, it's just like not the group of people that were like best for me.
Did you go to U of A?
Yeah.
Cool.
And like a lot of my friends that I lived with dropped out, and they were like in a band and whatnot. And I was just like, like I wasn't cool in high school, but like they thought like I was like with this like rambunctious crowd. So I was like, this is cool. This is what I should do. So I was like undeclared for like 2.5 years. And I decided history. I was like, I like history. I'll just do that.
Oh, cool.
It's cool, but like deep down, I'm like, all right, it's like getting a job that you're like really happy with, but it's not like your dream job. So
For
it's
sure,
like,
man.
yeah, shit, I should have done theater. Fuck. And I was just too lazy.
Yeah, I mean, every theater major that I went to school with has a job that they love so much. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One I got. It's not, you're not NPSing me again. For those of you guys listening, that's National Park Service.
Whom I love and have a deep respect for, IRL. Yeah, I did study college. I studied. Fuck me.
That's good. ASU?
Yeah.
It shows! I studied college too.
No, I studied theater in college.
Okay.
When I started, I had the intention of being like a high school theater teacher. So mine was super formative for my life. Like, yeah, she's an incredible woman. Cammie, if you're listening, love you. And if you're not, I still love you.
Is she on Instagram? Can we tag her?
She's not. Well, I'll text her.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought I wanted to be a teacher, and I still do, but just not for high school students. I don't think.
I think you'd be great at it.
Thank you. I do too. I've taught before. I teach workshops and I coach.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do it more regularly.
Yeah. Are you considering like not high school but elementary or like junior high or just
I mean,
like one-off kind of things maybe?
I love improv festivals, traveling around,
Yeah.
like seeing improv scenes all across the country. I'd love to travel to more of those and do workshops.
Mm-hmm.
Love to teach more in Chicago. That's a goal coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Very nice. I thought about, it was like 2 years ago, I was like, what if I quit my job and I just become a substitute teacher or just maybe like a history teacher, but not at probably like at a private school since I don't have a degree in history education. It's just history.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, that's just another like way of me not diving into like what I really want to do. And it's just like, oh yeah, I'd be happy with this. Like it'd be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything but a sales job.
Well, I'm going to ask two questions. What did you have like a time period or a location that was your central focus of history?
No, it was general history. You had to take, amongst all the other history classes, requirements, 2 American history classes, 2 Latin American history classes, 2 European, and 2 Asian.
What was your favorite?
I really liked history of the Middle East because I didn't know anything. I did not enjoy history of South Asia just because of the teacher.
Oh, yeah.
They were just like...
You know, the most stressful class of my college experience was a half semester of online Buddhism.
Go on.
I made a joke on the first day in the message boards where we introduce ourselves. And I was like, hey, my name is Matt. I am super looking forward to this class. I have been like studying Buddhism low key for a few years. And it like brings me a lot of like peace and joy. And I guess by the end of this class, because we had to like list why we were taking the class, it's like, I guess by the end of this class, I'd like to reach nirvana. And my professor sent me a message. It's like, that's not going to happen. And I need you to understand that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, great. We're going to have a great time. That went over as well as the National Park Service joke.
Yeah, right? I was like, Matt, you can't be serious about... Oh, my God.
And maybe, I'm
That's
just
funny,
not
so.
fucking funny.
No, you're funny. Sometimes I'm just not with it. I'm going to blame it on working today.
Oh, yeah.
What are the... Because I took a class, World Religions, in high school. There's like 3 vehicles of Buddhism, or like 3 different branches. Like Vajrayana, is that Mahayana? Varanya? There's like...
It was a very stressful class, and I did not do well in it.
Fuck.
And I'm more just like into the Alan Watts kind of Buddhism.
Who's Alan Watts?
He was
Who the hell is Alan Watts?
Have you seen the movie Her?
I love that movie. I saw it on a train in Norway. It changed my life.
I want to ask you more about Norway in a minute.
Please.
Okay, so you know how the robot lady falls in love with another robot?
Yeah.
That robot has the mind or like computing of Alan Watts. His character name is Alan Watts. So Alan Watts in real life is a philosopher who kind of is credited more or less for introducing like the West to Eastern philosophy.
Okay.
Whether or not that's accurate, hooty booty, but he is often credited with it.
What time frame did it live? Like 1800s?
Oh no, much later. He was like
Like 40s, 50s?
60s, 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So or at least popularizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
God, that's probably so inaccurate.
I believe you.
I went to Arizona State.
What was that like? Because that's a weird campus.
It is
Campus.
one of the biggest party schools in the country. I did not go to parties unless they were theater parties. And even then, I would like...
Is that even a party?
They were themed parties, of course. But I'd like get a little too drunk too fast and then I would lay out in the grass in the backyard, like look at the stars.
That's what you do in college.
Is it?
Yeah, I've done that. I remember laying out on the patio, this like concrete patio, drunk as a skunk,
Yeah.
just staring up,
Man.
upset about something.
Do you remember what?
A lady.
Yeah. I don't feel like I had like the most quintessential college experience because I went to Arizona State.
Mhm.
I don't think I had ever touched a keg until I moved to Chicago.
Oh, wow.
It's like I drank a lot, but I just like didn't know how to, I guess.
Isn't it the largest college in the world as far as students? Or the U.S. at least?
I think when I graduated, we had like 67,000 students enrolled. I don't know if that counts online. They've got a huge online school.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
I mean, if it's not the biggest, it's certainly up there.
Yeah. Like how big of a radius were your classes like located? Because they don't have like a central campus, right?
There's the main campus is in Tempe, which is where I lived. Then there are a couple other campuses for like the journalism and nursing school. It's downtown. Then there's some other ones spread about.
Well, I mean, like the one in Tempe, even that, it's like split up, right? Like a good amount.
Yeah.
Or spread out, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, everything
Yeah.
feels that way out west.
Well, because like at the U of A, it's just like a block. It's like a big square.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, oh, there's the U of A. You just walk everywhere. And then like, there's like the South Tucson branch for like, I think, I don't know, some sort of engineering. And then you have like the hospital for like the nursing. But other than that, it's just like a big square.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like a little mountain, a butte. technically, like in the middle of campus that I would just like climb late at night and like feel things. So it's big enough to be built around a mountain.
Fair.
A butte.
A butte.
But we called it a mountain.
I was just there in July, and they have on the other side of the 202, they have a soccer team there now, the Phoenix Fire, I think.
Okay.
And they play it's like a second tier, so it's like one below MLS, like pro soccer.
Okay.
They're still pro soccer, but their league season is throughout the summer, and it's an outdoor like arena. It's like a small like it looks like a big high school field.
But you know that Phoenix Fire, it's a dry heat.
Get out. Like, who the hell? Like, it's outdoors, and like they have the games at night. It's still brutal.
I have to imagine that's the team no one wants to be
Yeah.
like drafted to. Does the drafting happen? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's rough.
That is very rough. But you know, that's how you know you love the sport.
True. And if you love Phoenix, then it's worth it. And just past the road, like across the street from the In-N-Out there, the like ASU In-N-Out, they have a new like car dealership. It's a big glass tower where I guess they just like shuffle cars, and you can like pick one. I think
Like a vending machine?
my mom said this. I don't know if she's talking out of her ass or what, but she said, yeah, it's just like one where you can just buy a car. Like there's got to be someone there, but like
That's the most Scottsdale thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god.
man, let's go buy a car today. Come on.
I've
Got 80,000 in my debit card.
one of the reasons I did choose Chicago is because I A, hate driving, and B, like morally should not because I'm so bad at it.
How many accidents have you been in?
Only one, but I only have like a 4-month driving record.
And you just call it quits?
Well, I had like let's take it back. As Hillary Duff would say, let's go back to the beginning.
Please. I know her.
Oh yes, she's doing so well right now.
Is she really?
Yeah, I mean she got out when she needed to get out. She's doing great. I love her. Anyway, when I was very young, I would have these like nightmares that I was behind the wheel of my mom's minivan and I couldn't stop, and I would drive through my neighbors' houses and just like see them smash over the glass, which is like super heavy and it would happen a lot. So when I was trying to learn to drive all throughout my teenage years, I'd get like freaked out and have to stop.
Yeah.
So I didn't get my license until I was 21. Phoenix is a hard town to not have a license in. Luckily, I had a lot of very generous friends and family. So then, like, I knew I was moving to Chicago, and I had this job where I was like saving up money. I had to drive to, so I had like 4 solid months of driving experience, and then I got in a U-Haul and drove from Phoenix to Chicago. And in St. Louis, I rear-ended a semi.
Ooh. And he noticed?
She did.
She? Yes.
Yeah, she was very nice to me. Well, she was very eager to get back on the road because I'm sure she had a deadline. So she wasn't particularly nice to me, but she was like, hey, let's just get out of here.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's go. I occasionally have to deal with female truck drivers, and like they're so much fun because it's like 99.9% male. So I'm like, when I get a chance to like talk to one, if I got to like dispatch them or whatever, I'm like, I want to talk to Carol for a minute. She's got some stories, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're really nice. All of the ones I've encountered so far.
those truck stops have to be just absolute hellholes.
Yeah. I don't even like want to go to. Yeah. No, thank you.
Wait, Norway. When were you in Norway?
Oh, I was in Norway 2014. I was on a big Europe trip.
Nice.
And I bought a Eurail pass for like all the train systems there.
Dude, I have planned that vacation probably 7 times and taken it 0.
Planned. Do it. It's not that expensive.
I mean, yeah, and that's like, man, I have a complicated relationship with money, and like, I will buy fancy coffee beans as soon as I run out.
That's number one. We're cutting that out.
Huh?
We're cutting out fancy coffee beans.
Yeah, I thought you meant you were going to edit it out of this podcast. But then, like, for a life-changing vacation, I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
$100 to get to Iceland? I don't know.
I'll just have
How
another
many-
sip of this delicious coffee. Yeah, I saved up for like a year and a half. And then it was a $2,000 3-month all-you-can-ride train pass.
Nice.
And like I definitely was like running on fumes towards the last month. I did 5 months total, but the first 3 months were just like all continental Europe. And I
Yeah.
just like kind of just bounced all over. From like France I started, I did all of Central Europe. I went all the way to Portugal, and then I went all the way to Istanbul, and then all the way up to the north of the Arctic Circle in Norway within like 12
Did you see the
weeks.
Northern Lights?
No, I was there in August, so they're like, oh, come back in like 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, I have a ticket to England.
Yeah.
But I got to the Arctic Circle, and then I took because like that alone, I did the math. I like checked how much a train ride from like the top of Norway all the way down to Oslo would cost, and it's
Yeah.
like $700. So I'm like, I spent $2,000 on 3
Yeah.
months worth of train rides. This would have cost me $700. Like,
Wow.
worth it. And that was like 4 or 5 days in Norway, and just going all the way along the coast, and just incredible.
Yeah. And you watched her.
I watched her. I think I was in Sweden. I don't know. One of the two. But yeah, I love that movie. And everything in Norway is super expensive. Even like eggs and tuna, which is what I was on at that point in my trip.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, tuna will be cheap. They get tuna here. No. It was like, for a small can, it was like $6 American. Yeah. Eggs were like, for a dozen, it was like $8, $9. I'm like, you grow chickens here.
But, you know, I mean, they're also happy there. It's one of like the happiest countries on earth.
Yeah, they're not in the EU, and so all that money's theirs. Their population's like 8, and they have oil. They have wind turbines. They've got fishing. They've got natural gas. Like,
And in 2 weeks, they're going to have the Northern Lights.
and what's not to love about Norway? So I don't know. I've always questioned when people are like, "Oh, Norway's great." I'm like, "Well, they have a lot of money because no one lives there, and they're like super strict on like who can like get a citizenship, and it's super isolated. It's surrounded by first world countries, so like everyone's super chipper." and they have fucking dope sweaters.
Honestly, I can't wait for you to see my Smokey the Bear sweater.
I'm
It's
excited.
really cute.
Is it brown or yellow? That's what I'm imagining.
Oh, it's forest green, and it's got
Nice.
a beautiful scene with Smokey and all of his forest friends.
Hell yeah. On a bench, eating chocolate.
I don't. That none of that's true. I wonder if bears have a similar relationship to chocolate that dogs have. We don't have to talk about it, but that's a thought I just had.
What was your thought again?
If bears have a similar relationship to chocolate that dogs do, like it's bad
that they
for
can't
them.
eat. Yeah.
They love honey.
Dude, I feel like bears can eat anything. They're crazy. Like in British Columbia, they'll eat like nothing but blueberries for a few weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when like guys that are hunting bears are like, "Oh, you want a blueberry black bear because you eat it and it's tastes nothing but like blueberry like infused meat and it's delicious. The fat's like all marbleized blue and purple.
That's
Crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
In the most like depressed parts of my life, I ate nothing but blueberries. So
What?
I was probably super marbled too.
Yeah. If a plane crash, I'd be like, "We're getting Matt tonight.
He's been so sad.
We're gonna
lately.
dice him up."
You know he's full of bloobs.
I always think about that. If I'm like on a bus, I'm like, all right, if this thing goes down, who am I eating?
I have a similar thought. Every time I board a plane and we're waiting to get on, and I'm looking around the terminal. I was such a big fan of like Lost. Never finished it, but I was a big fan.
Same. Well, never finished it.
But I would look around the terminal and be like, who would be my friend? Who's going to be the drama starter? Who's going to be the leader? Who's going to think they're the leader? All
Trick
that
question.
stuff.
It's all me.
Oh my gosh, I was the only one on the island the whole time. I think that's how the show ends. I don't know. Spoiler alert.
I thought they were all dead and in Nirvana.
Yeah. Oh, wow. If only I'd finished that online Buddhism class. That was half a semester.
That's a fun game. I'm going to play that next time.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a judgmental game,
It's like Survivor.
which I also love.
I can't believe that show is still fucking on.
About to start its either 37th or 38th season.
No fucking way.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was at like 27.
And no, well, they do 2 a year.
Okay, that's cheating.
It is.
So they're like at. Let's do the math.
They're
on
like
it.
full seasons, but they do 2 a year. They're hustling.
That's ridiculous.
Think of all the prize money they've given away.
I still don't know what that. I've never seen an episode.
So the winner gets $1 million,
It's straight up $1 million.
straight up $1 million.
Okay.
But like, I've researched it because I've just researched it because I'm going to be on the next season.
Please.
I think I would do fine, but not great.
Because you get voted off by the people there, or
By the people there, yeah.
okay.
If I made it through the first 2 weeks, I think I would make it to the merge, but not far after the merge because I am nice, but maybe a little too nice, and people would think I'm being more strategic, and I would think I'm being more strategic than I am, which is a big downfall. I'm not as smart as I think. I went
It's
to
a-
Arizona State.
What do they do with the last two people?
Right. So sometimes it's the last 2 or 3. Then like the previous, I don't know, like 9 people voted off before, who have like been there the whole season and watched a bunch. Those like 9 or so will vote on who they want to get the $1 million.
Got it.
So you're voting to get people out of there, but then they come back and vote for you, or not you.
Ooh, that's fun.
It is very fun.
Has anyone ever been caught outside of the Survivor show, like making an alliance? Like, hey, if one of us gets voted off, you give me, $500,000.
Oh, it's not even outside of the show. That is the show.
Like after this? Oh, okay, that's part of the game.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Okay.
alliances are a huge part of it.
I knew that, but I wasn't sure how the game worked, so that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the other one? There's Survivor, and then there was. It was like the same thing, or like a sister show.
The Amazing Race. I'm glad you asked. I love that show too. So people play in pairs and they race around the world and they have tasks to do in each of these cities and they have to wait for planes and like travel is so stressful. They fight with each other.
Okay. I'm thinking of another one, but maybe that's it.
It was probably The Amazing Race.
Yeah. Fair enough. How did we get on Survivor? Oh,
I think we were
planes.
talking about Project Runway, which I also love.
Yes.
Tim Gunn is just the greatest.
Project Runway is Heidi Klum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to learn now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, out of Project Runway, even though I don't know, but I'm hoping a lot of my listeners will know, who would you alliance with, become an ally with? Who would you eat?
Okay.
And who would you not trust?
Well, I would always align myself with Tim Gunn. I completely agree with him that you can wear white pants after Labor Day. That's just a stupid made-up rule.
What is that rule?
I don't know where it came from. I don't know who thinks they have the authority to tell me what I can and can't do. If I feel good in my white pants after Labor Day, I'm going to wear them. I don't want to wear pants in the summer.
Amen.
Anyway, who would I eat? Was that one of them?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess well, you know, he's so delicious. I'm going to eat Christopher Paolo. He's so cute.
You got to think about their diets. Because a lot
Oh.
of people think like an overweight person's who you want to eat, but they're probably going to have the worst tasting flesh.
Oh, Christopher's not overweight.
Heidi Klum, is she?
She
I'm
is one of the judges.
I'm
yeah.
assuming she. I don't even want to say it, but
She's a lovely woman.
she probably eats well,
yeah.
healthy.
I guess I guess I'll eat Heidi Klum. And then what was the other one? Who's the villain?
Who you're not going to trust on your island?
Well, obviously Nina.
Nina.
Yeah.
What's Nina's deal?
She and I just have very different views on fashion.
Okay. Would you say I'm a fashionable person? Be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. You're wearing a hockey shirt right now that does have a rip by the armpit, which is tasteful.
Two.
Yeah. All right.
That's tasteful?
It can be.
Okay. I think it's got to be confidence, right?
I mean, yeah, you can't let the clothes wear you.
That's going to be the name of our future podcast.
Okay.
We're going to analyze fashion.
Gosh, my dreams are coming true.
You can't. What was it? You can't let the clothes wear you.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I think I will be too old by the time it comes around, but God, what I would give to be on the third iteration of Queer Eye.
What do they have a timeline?
No.
They
but-
can't just do it now.
Well, no. I mean, the current cast, which is phenomenal, is still in production. They're doing their season 3 right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's not even the same guys from the first one?
No.
Oh. And this is solely Netflix? They like picked up the...
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I was watching... I wanted to say Outhouse. Open House.
If those are both shows, I've never heard of either.
Horror movie, Netflix original.
Oh. Okay.
And I was watching Open House, and I came to the realization that almost every single Netflix original movie I've seen is fucking horrible. And they're like made for TV movies. Like,
oh, yeah.
That's like the new thing. It's like a Netflix original. You think it's going to be great because they have all this money, but like, I think they're good at finding things and slapping, like finding something that like was old and they're bringing it back. But like, as far as like Netflix studios, like, I'm trying to think of a good one that I've seen, especially like scary movies, which
Specifically movies?
I love. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like they crushed it with Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
Except for that last episode and a half. I was like, all right, he's guilty. I don't care. What the hell do I... Like, he lost.
Did you watch The Keepers?
I tried.
It's
That should have
super
been
fucked up.
2 episodes. It's super fucked up, but it's like, how many times do I have to hear this same horrible story before, like, something happens?
Yeah. I mean, that's... Honestly, take that sentence and apply it to culture.
Damn! That's heavy.
That's how I feel.
Fuck. But how can you love these shows and think like that? Because they're all fashion or cooking, right? Isn't that what we're all here for? Regurgitation?
I'm here for innovation.
Steve Jobs. Those are his last words.
Oh, gosh. I'm here for innovation.
I like that too. A lot of good one-liners.
Hey, I'm all one-liner, no depth.
about Steve Jobs. I went to high school, and one of my computer teacher, Mr. White, was friends with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, and they invited him because he was like a computer guy too. They're like, "Hey, we're starting up this business," and he was like, "Cool, I'm in." They started. They created Apple. He started doing really well, and he's like, "You know what? I'm from Texas, and I like riding dirt bikes. I'm going to make this my 100% thing." So he was like, "Sorry, guys. I hope it goes great. I'm sure it will, but like my fucking dream is to race dirt bikes professionally." So
Did he go pro?
he went like semi-pro, and he got in so many like just injuries and whatnot. So he would be,
So he was like the Phoenix Fire of dirt bikes?
yeah, great guy, loved him. He was teaching computer classes. Maybe he still is. I don't know. Shout out to Mr. White. And he'd be on the dry erase board looking back at us. He's like, "All right, so you're going to have this, the RAM is basically a random access memory." And his marker, because he had lost all the nerves in his right hand, like the feeling, he'd be writing and the mark would fly out of his hand, and he would keep writing and like smudging because he didn't know as he's looking back at us. And we would just be like, "Oh," it's not like a super uncomfortable injury because like he's racing dirt bikes, but like you'd be like, "You're not," he's like, "Ah, shit, where the hell did my marker go?" Like he'd have to go looking around and he'd find it and he'd keep writing. He'd like clean up his mess. It happened all the time.
That's crazy.
What a character, Mr. White.
I will never forget this very boring story that I'll tell of my high school trigonometry teacher, who I think was at a horse track, and he met this guy who's just like throwing down so much money. And eventually, this is probably not a true story now that I'm thinking about it, but it sounds so made up. But eventually, he was like, "Hey, what do you do for work? You're like obviously so wealthy." He's like, "Oh, I invented the milk carton that opens like when you pull the tabby thing and just like fold it."
Yeah.
I invented that years ago and have retired on that money.
That's such a good story.
That
that's
has
fake.
to be made up.
It has to be. I love that shit.
Man, I got taken for a ride.
So your teacher was telling you about a guy that he met that told him that. Well, maybe that guy's just lying to your teacher, and your teacher really heard that, because that's like, why would you tell that story to your students? Guess who I met today? Who's drinking milk?
Yeah, I know who you have to thank for how easy that is.
Isn't that crazy, though, that if that was a thing, like, as a businessman, I feel like even I would be like Scrooge McDuck. I'd be like, "Fuck you, we would have figured that out. We're not paying you for the rest of your life for that." Like,
yeah. Or maybe he just like got a little check and invested it well.
yeah. It's like, I remember hearing that Gene Simmons, the bassist for Kiss and reality TV star, right? What was
very
his show?
long tongue haver?
Yeah. I think he was born in Israel. I don't know. But he claims that he owns the rights to Happy Birthday. So every time that's like played in a movie or TV or sung, that he gets like 10 cents or God knows what. Like something ridiculous.
I knew
like
it was copywritten because that's become like a joke in television shows.
Yeah.
Like a very self-aware business joke. I didn't know that Gene Simmons,
Yeah.
who I often confuse with Richard Simmons. Two very different people.
Is he dead?
No.
Was he assumed to be dead?
There's a podcast that was like really worried about him. I think he's just like doing okay and doesn't want like public life.
Okay.
I don't think he's doing like Hillary Duff okay, but I think he's okay.
Okay, please explain Hillary Duff, okay? Because last time I knew what was going on with Hillary Duff is when I was a big NHL fan and she was married to a hockey player. And I'm assuming they got divorced.
I don't know.
What is she
that's,
doing?
That's the thing. It's like she'll pop into the public eye every now and again, and that's all she needs. I just need to see her and know she's okay. Seems like she's doing okay.
She's like a white J-Lo.
Sure.
Because J-Lo, I feel like, is like more like, or like a white P. Diddy, where he's just like business. He's not really rapping anymore.
Yeah, maybe. Although,
I'm assuming she's
did
got,
Hillary Duff have an album this year or did I just dream that? I think she might have had an album this year. And if that's not true, everyone just know that I dreamt that.
Did she have good music? Was it like?
I mean, you know exactly what the music was if you know 2 songs. It was like very produced for the OC and the people who watch the OC.
Okay. Because
No, not the OC. What's the one with
Laguna?
Yeah, Laguna Beach.
Okay. Which
Or-
one was the reality? Laguna?
Yeah,
Okay.
and The Hills.
Oh, The Hills was a spinoff?
I believe so. Yes.
It's all coming back to me. Because I don't remember Hillary Duff ever making music. I remember Lindsay Lohan had like a song,
Mhm.
and it was like really bad. I'm like, is this what Hillary Duff's music is, or is it like Carly Rae Jepsen, where it's like pop but it's good?
Ooh, I thought you were gonna diss Carly Rae Jepsen, and I love her
Dude,
so much.
I fucking love Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, isn't she incredible?
The one song off her like last album.
Emotion.
Yeah, I think it's with the saxophone. That's
That's
the one. That is such a good pop song.
Yeah,
Or
that-
song in general.
That whole album is the perfect pop album.
Is it,
And
I haven't
then-
listened to anything else.
Oh, then she released the B-sides from that album, Emotion B-sides. Another great pop album.
People, do not sleep on like Carly Rae Jepsen. I remember Melissa Patterson played it on my porch, and she was like, "Hey, play some Carly Rae." I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm always down for Call Me Maybe," because I love that too.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "No, her new album." I was like,
Yeah.
no." And then she played. I was like, "This is really good."
I think that's how so much of the world greeted her, and we just weren't quite aware, but we caught up. We caught
Yeah.
up as a society.
Like, oh no, we do have some talent here.
oh,
Fucking great.
God, she's so good.
And I don't know how you feel about him, but Justin Bieber, the album he did in like 2015 with Sorry, and then was it What Do You or Where Are You Now?
I know that song. Sorry. Yeah, I don't.
That was
Follow.
another thing.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, Justin Bieber. And then I heard like his 2 or 3 songs from that album. Like, all right, these are really well produced.
Man, like that song "Sorry" and this whole Carly Rae Jepsen storyline really threw me for a loop as like becoming a person who is getting older.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this popular music is so good. And I'm like, is it actually, or is it just actually me settling into lower standards?
No.
But it's so good.
It's good. And I feel like it would be the opposite. The older you get, the less you want to acknowledge how something good is now. You know what I mean? It's like, well, when
I guess so. But when I think of like, who is going out and buying Maroon 5 albums?
I think someone who I don't want to be mean. Maybe you ever see
You don't
them?
have to be. I'm not asking you to be. But that's a question I have, and I'm like, am I like leaning into something as calculated and
Yeah.
boring as Maroon 5?
No. Because Maroon 5 sucks.
I know.
They're really bad.
I just heard they're going to do the Super Bowl.
good. Fuck the Super Bowl.
Honestly, you're right. But I was totally there for when Lady Gaga did it.
That was fun.
And Beyonce. Thank you.
I can't get on board with Beyonce.
Well, we'll move past it and talk about Katy Perry's Left Shark from when she did the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Remember that shark?
Yeah.
It couldn't dance.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I think they just knew that it was not going to be a good show, and they just wanted to give the internet something.
You think they were that smart about it, or they were just like, "Fuck, the other person broke their ankle. We're just gonna like, where's your boyfriend's here? Perfect, come in." Like,
Oh my gosh. Oh, now I have a story. Okay, what if that shark like snuck the person inside the shark suit snuck in to like propose to their partner on like live TV during the halftime show, but they like couldn't find the ring inside the suit. Like them looking for the ring is how that shark danced. Wow.
that was like, what was that? 2015, 16?
Something like that.
I remember that like took over the year.
Yeah. Man, if it was that year again, I would write that sketch.
They still have like GIFs and like memes or like little dancing like animation and like Instagram of the shark. It's just like
Yeah.
its own thing now. Wikipedia page.
It'll let it soar. Remember
Fly,
Nyan
shark,
Cat?
fly. What?
Remember Nyan Cat?
No. Is that the dead cat on the drone? Because that's
No. Oh God, I remember that.
yeah. The guy's
Oh my
cat
God.
died, so he stuffs it onto
Oh
a drone.
my God, I forgot about that. Oh, the internet's a weird place.
Mm-hmm. What is Meow Cat?
It's Nyan. I think it's pronounced Nyan.
Nyan.
But it was like this little 8-bit or 16-bit, I don't know, like cat that was flying through space, and its body is a Pop-Tart, and that it had like a little jingle,
Oh,
and
wow.
that is truly it.
I'll have to look it up.
You know, you really don't have to, but it is just a weird piece of internet.
I'll look it up at like 2 a.m.
Sure.
That's when it'll probably hit hardest. What the hell was I going to ask you? Oh, going back to music.
Yes.
That's with like, what is it? Trap music and like a lot of like rap and stuff. I'm like, Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I know it's not me being old. I'm like, I refuse to be like, oh, you don't get it anymore. I'm like, this for me is like horrible. But like, I still like other current music. So I'm like, it's not me getting old. I still love hip hop. I just feel like it's lazy right now. And it's like, it's punk phase where it's just like stripped down and it's like, I'm like, you can't do this for every song.
I'm a little out of my depth. I don't know Cardi B's music.
Steer clear. Head for open waters.
No, I like what she says about where do my taxes go. I know her for that.
What? What did she say?
She had this thing on Instagram where she's like, I want to see like the receipts. Where are all my tax dollars going? Where are these? What's going on?
Is she pro lower taxes? Because I doubt it.
I've expended my knowledge.
Damn. If she's a libertarian, then I love her.
We contain multitudes.
She's back on board. Let's get you out of here.
All right.
I know you're a busy man.
I might play some board games later tonight.
Oh, hell yeah. Hour 7 minutes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Flew by.
Fuck yeah. Thank you for being on this show.
It was my pleasure.
What any shows you want to plug? Projects?
I don't have projects. I do love coffee. You can catch my team at the IO Theater every Monday night at 8 o'clock, the Teenagers. We play with another great team called Little Tooties. It's
Very
called
fun.
Toots and Teens. Or Teenage Tootant Teenja Toodles. It's a very hard name to say, so we
love
call
both.
it Teens and Toots.
I love Teens and Toots.
Yeah, every Monday at 8, IO Theater.
Both great teams.
Oh, speaking of Arizona, I have a team at another theater called CIC, Chemically Imbalanced Comedy, where you can catch Enjoy Tucson.
Enjoy Tucson with a photo of Sedona.
Yes, I did not make the flyer. I've also
Oh, yeah.
only been to Tucson twice, but I loved it. I
Did you
enjoy
really?
it. Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go?
I went to see a production of Avenue Q.
What is that?
It's a musical.
Okay.
And then I went back home. And then I passed through to go to Karchner Caverns.
Hell yeah.
But I ate at the Welcome Diner. It was very tasty.
Nice.
And Welcome Diner is now in Phoenix, too. They've got like a bunch of stuff popping up all over. Good job, Welcome Diner.
Good job, Welcome Diner. And thank you, buddy.
Thank
This
you.
was fun.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the tea.
Absolutely. Ooh-wee. Thank you again to Matt Myers for coming down to Studio A and recording that fun-ass podcast with me. If you guys are ever on a plane with me and it goes down, please don't eat me. Please don't befriend me because I will be your enemy and I will destroy you. I want to thank Matt for being on the show. I want to thank all my sponsors, and I want to thank you guys, the listeners, because without you, I would not get out of bed. I would dig a cave, a hole in the ground where I would not come out. I would survive off wombat jerky and sunflower seeds that I grew myself out in